Okay, Oriental hornbeam, Carpinus orientalis, collected in Croatia. Only a few years ago, in a very short time, this tree has developed into an almost show-ready piece. This is one of the few Carpinuses that now show maturity as bonsai. It's already in a very good pot by John Pitt. Fits very well. The pot at the moment is a bit too big, but I think the future of that tree is a larger crown anyway. So if the crown is bigger, then the pot is fine. This tree has a very, very good nebari and a very good tapering trunk. The ramification here is not yet what I would like it to be. I would like it to be a lot longer and denser. The owner knows that. He is slower than he could be in developing a crown. He does what many people do and what's in the books. Very soon pinches and cuts back and divides and so on. Slowly, slowly, slowly this will grow. That's the way bonsai was done always. And I have made popular what I call the hedge pruning method, which is a radically different way of developing such a tree. You just let it grow freely for 1 or 2 years. It's about 3 times bigger than it is now. Everything is long and long. And then you cut on top because you don't want these to grow too strong. And down here you want them to grow much stronger. And when this tree has pumped up itself with a lot of energy from all this green, then you radically cut him back like that with a hedge pruner. And then, like a hedge, hundreds and hundreds of new buds will come out and with new growth. And you let these grow, and they are smaller buds, smaller, thinner branches, and they will grow again. And these you cut back again after a year, and then you will have a much quicker, a bigger crown, which is a lot denser, but it is wild, a bit more chaotic. With the method that you do this tree here, every single branch has its place right from the beginning. Even when it's very, very young, you already decide this going that way and then like that. With my hedge pruning method, you just prune it like a hedge, and the branches do whatever they like. But then you have hundreds of branches, and you have a luxury problem again of having too many branches, which is exactly the kind of problem I want. Because you want to get rid of at least 50% of those, and you take away the ones that you don't like, and you keep the ones that you do like. And then you will, just by nature itself, those that you do like have grown naturally into a place, into a direction, and you can feel that it looks very natural. Now, it is not natural at all, by the way. Hedge pruning is not natural, and then sorting out is not natural, but the end result gives you a very natural feeling. And this is why it's called naturalistic bonsai style. If you do this here, then in the end, you will have a very nice, very well-groomed tree, which will be beautiful, but it will have an artistic sort of beauty. Or no artificial. It will look like somebody constructed that tree very well, which is fine. Okay, you would not think that this grew wild. If you are at that stage, which you are now, what you do now, you just for a change let it grow wild again, and then cut it back so it will naturalize itself just by neglect. People who don't have too many trees have a tendency to do too much to their trees because they want to work with bonsai. Now that's what they have bonsai for. You buy yourself some work. Now people like me have so many trees that some trees are not touched for 10 years. I tell you one thing, most of the time that's good for the tree. It's better if the tree is not so much touched. Okay, but anyway, the end result counts, what you really want. I think this tree obviously is not a nursery tree. This is not coming from a seedling in a nursery. This is coming from wilderness, and it still has this wild feeling. Oh, these branches were much longer, and they were cut off, and that is the biggest trick you have to learn when you collect such trees, that you have to do some carving here, some change to the structure, so that this looks credible, good, and that's very hard to do. And you cannot look at the Japanese for this. Look at the Japanese bonsai books. You never ever see a tree collected and with this carving. They don't collect broadleaf trees. They only collect conifers, and not even that. Most conifers are done from garden, from nursery. Now, because of this problem, many people shy away from collected broadleaf trees. But here is a very good example how you can overcome this. For me, well, that's perfect. By the way, this is very dark black. You don't paint that white. That's a big mistake, a very silly mistake. So you burn with a flame in there, and so that it's black, and you keep it black. Okay, so what can we say more about this tree? Well, with the method that you're working with, you have done a very nice branches. However, be honest, these branches are too thin, right? 1, 2, 3. These all should be much thicker. Now, if you continue doing what you did already, you will always have a nice looking tree. But in 20 years, I will still be around, and I will come and I will say, this branch is nice, but it's too thin. Because just by doing what you do, what most bonsai people actually do, keep your tree nice, okay, nice looking, always prone back. You can always show it. Some visitor comes, your trees look nice. They will not develop the way they should. If you want this branch to be thicker than this one, then this has to grow like 2 meters. And it will look very silly. You don't want to show it. And by the way, all your trees have the same problem, because that's a normal problem of collected trees. Okay, if you go to my garden, I don't care much what people think. You see, in summer, you see a lot of very strange looking trees with a lot of growth down here and up here cut back. If you do this for 5 to 10 years, it's a long time, 10 years, then this branch will triple. Okay. Then something which is so normal for me that I forget mentioning it, but we have to mention it because many people out there who see this video will think, well, this looks good, but it has a major fault. This branch is much too thick compared to the rest. Okay. I hear this often. Everything is wrong on that tree, but it looks good. Okay, so what's more important, to be right or to be good? Well, to be good, of course, is the only thing that counts, and wrong and right is something which is only decided by the result. Now, it's very simple. This is not a branch. This is a trunk, a side trunk, a secondary trunk, a main trunk splitting into a secondary trunk. Secondary trunks can be very fat. They can also grow upwards. Okay, it's because it's more a naturalistic style tree. This tree does not want to look like these well-groomed pine trees. Okay, a big mistake in bonsai is to make a broadleaf tree look like a pine tree. I'm guilty of that. Everybody is guilty of that. And the majority of trees in shows are like that. but that does not mean that it's right. For me, it's not right, but maybe for you. So I said that before. If you have a different opinion than me, that's fine, but that's your problem, not mine. So yes. So I would fatten these, and I would probably grow this into here to somehow this upper part wants some branches here. Okay, much bigger. Maybe you can make this a bit longer even. This is the very pronounced sort of, it's not a branch, it's a secondary trunk, so you can make this longer here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Finito?
For me, yes, some suggestions here. Obviously he decided to make this the front, which is, you could slightly change the front from here to here, for example. Okay, that's a possibility. But then, as you say, this root is coming at you. Yes, it's true that with a carpinus like that, you start with looking at the nebari. I said that before. The nebari must be very good very soon. It will get bigger, but will not change much. So this is where you start with. The rest you can always change. And if you choose a front on a tree like that, yes, you look at the best possible nebari. Now you are saying, Peter, that this is it. Yes, it could be, but I'm of the opinion that the chosen front with 1 hour here, that is for me the front, and I wouldn't bother that this goes at you. It doesn't really hurt me too much. One thing you did, which we also learned in the book a long time ago, that you open the front, that you can see everything. And I think in this case it's overdone.
It's overdone.
I would want these things to grow in here so that this front looks more like this one, like a real tree. But make sure it's transparent, you can see through.
And this is the future plan. I have to close it more.
So we used to say you have to open the trunk from bottom to up to the upper third, so that everybody can see the whole trunk. And now I'm saying, no, you don't do that. That's artificial. You have branches in front, but not so many. You can look through them, and you can still somehow see the trunk between the branches, and that looks a lot more natural.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes. Yes. Okay. We have two problems. One was two problems were pointed out by Peter. One was this root sticking at you, and the other one that the tree is leaning backwards. Okay. If you tilt the tree upwards and forwards, you're solving both problems.
Already be more close.
Yeah. You have this root is on the, and then it's a bit closer, and then the tree is coming a bit at you. So next time, just tilt it like that.
Just one more thing, of course, you have to understand that this green canopy is in its very, very early stages of development. This tree received only one and only wiring this time.
Creating some additional shard maybe here to complement this side. This is quite empty, I think, quite smooth compared to this side.
Okay, the question was, can we not do some shari here in order to complement this big shari here just a little? Yeah, you can always do that. It's a bit cruel, and I wonder whether that's necessary. But if you absolutely wanted that and say, well, this is kind of interesting, but this is a bit boring, then you do some big wound here, which in a few years will look like this and like that. Mutilate that tree on purpose. I hesitate a bit, but I can see if you want to do it, okay, go ahead. I wouldn't do it.
Psycho just want to ruin our good tree.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the sort of thing you really do if it's clearly necessary. In this case, I would close that anyway a bit. It's not so visible.